What is up, guys? It is your boy Chili, and today, long story short, I'm going to be going over ways that people can save money in order to buy the new gen systems when they come out, so that they don't get stuck in a situation where players are still stuck on the past gen console and they have games like Bungie. And I'll basically say that the Rise of Iron is coming out. It was announced over the past couple weeks, which I had put a video out on, saying that they were no longer continuing support really for legacy consoles, which was the 360 or PS3, and that Rise of Iron would be specifically for PS4 and Xbox One. And that has caused a lot of people to really say, hey, you know, they don't really care about us. How am I supposed to just update to a console in a couple of months, yada yada yada. And I'm doing this not to attack those people or put them down, but rather to try to help them. And this can be really applicable to any situation where you're upgrading from a console, from the future console to the current console to the old console, that whole life cycle and how it goes. So I want to clarify two things, and I've done this recording a couple times, and I'm really just trying to nail it down. If you are going to respond to this video after you see it online and you see it when I post it on the forums, and you're going to say, well, blah blah blah, everyone's going to try to explain their story and how it's not so easy to do. And I'm going to clarify that it's one of those that it really comes down to a personal choice, because the whole point of a console and its whole intention originally was to be for the casual gamer, and it was supposed to be an affordable system, because anyone who's ever played PC really knows that it costs a pretty good amount to keep a high quality, a high powered gaming PC active and up to date with all the parts that you need for it. That was the whole point of a console, is it was more for the casual person. So when I see these people who complain about Bungie in particular upgrading and leaving old gen systems behind, I say there's no one to blame but yourself. And first off, there is always going to be a small percentage in any category that when they fall under this, they really are not able to afford the next console. They really just, their financial situation is such that they are probably, you know, always $100 or $200 away from being dead broke. And you know, after they pay all their bills, they have virtually nothing to feed themselves. And in that case, it's more or less just a way of adjusting your financial situation in life, whether that's by education, advancing in a job, whatever. Like that's something different entirely. There's also one thing that I have to say, and I want to clarify this. Every time someone posts something like this, what I'm doing, everyone always comes out and says, oh, well, you know, what about the people out there who really can't afford anything? And basically what you're describing is the people who are living in third world countries, sifting through garbage for food every day. And I'm pretty sure no one in that situation in life, which is unfortunate, is really worried about what's being posted on a video game forum, on a certain developer forum, and really shouldn't have video games in their mind at that point. Like, they should have on their mind bettering their life overall, and that doesn't come through video games right away. Video games is a form of, to many people, as a way to just kick back and relax, and especially on consoles with the availability of games and just easy to go purchase one, it's meant to be for someone who has a couple hours every night and maybe wants to spend an hour playing a game or something, and that's how it starts. Or maybe it's used as a DVD player, whatever. That is the point of consoles, is to be affordable for people. So first off, if you fall in that weird age category of like 10 to 14, I would say, where you're not really old enough to get a job, and 14 is kind of pushing it, but you're not really old enough to get a job. I personally did chores as a kid. I was never paid for them, but I still did them, and I know that there are plenty of kids out there whose parents will say if you do chores you get paid, and that's the number one place where it starts. If your only source of income is so minimal, $5 to $10 a month, and that is the only way that you make money, you need to save that money till the next generation of consoles comes out. That has to be a conscious choice. And I know explaining this to a 10 to a 14-year-old is kind of tough, because things like going to the movies comes up, buying whatever comes up in terms of like toys or music, whatever. Like, I get it, but at this point and in this day and age, when a PS4 is cheaper than the new iPhone or Samsung Galaxy that comes out, I really don't see how there's a big issue of saving money. Simply put, if you save $10 a month for the next 5 years as a kid, $10 a month, you never touch it, you put it under your bed in a little box, or better yet, if you were really worried about spending it, taking it to a bank, and your parents aren't going to refuse to let you take your money to a bank in order to put that into a bank account. You put $10 a month in, and you could have over 5 years $600 sitting in there. $600 would have been enough to afford a PS4 brand new. $600 would have been enough to buy you a PlayStation 3 brand new. And the list goes on and on. At the end of the day, you have to be willing to set your money aside and not spend it in other places. The importance of personal finance and budgeting yourself when it comes down to being able to afford those is key, because if you really don't have the thing that says in your head, like, maybe I shouldn't buy this, I don't necessarily need this right now, then don't. Like, you really don't. If you want to save for the future, I saved for my PlayStation 3 with whatever jobs I could get with my dad and stepdad at the time, working with them on construction jobs. And I also gave up a trip to Hawaii. Now granted, most people would be like, all right, well, I'd love to go to Hawaii. So for me, it would have been being stuck on a military base all week and really not really going out much. So I decided to stay with my dad for a week as my other family went to Hawaii, and I got that money and I put it towards my PlayStation 3. You have to make choices. Now, if you're 14 or older and you fall in that weird age gap when a new console's coming out, like I did with PS3, I was 14. At that age, many companies out there, 14, 15, even starting at 16, will hire you part-time. Now, especially in today's day and age in Western civilization, there are laws against child labor. You're not going to be overworked, and I know you have school, but working part-time at your local grocer, if you just walk a few blocks to your local grocer and you're there and you're able to do that, you can make money doing that. The fact of the matter is, guys, is there's only one thing that's common in all of this, and that it's putting in the work and saving the money towards it. Again, people will get defensive when they hear that, and odds are, if you really fall into that situation that you're in such financial straits, I don't know if that makes sense, but if you're in such a financial difficulty where you really can't afford to do that, then you should not be worrying about being able to play the newest video game. You should just accept that you're going to be playing older gen consoles and older gen games, and you're not going to get the best updates and support system because people have moved on. Developers' sole job is to create a game that is so awesome and uses the console that they're on to the best of its ability, and that's what Bungie is doing right now with Rise of Iron. We're going to see truly their capabilities start to expand because it's not being hindered by old gen systems. The Legacy Edition consoles, people don't realize this, but 360 and Xbox 360 and PS3 can't do what the PS4 and Xbox One can. I mean, they just can't. And to sit here and feel like you're being left out or excluded or it's out of nowhere, you are 3 years into the PS4 and Xbox One console's lifespan. This will be an 8 to 10 year console lifespan. You have 10 years foreseeably to save up, and at this point you really have no excuse. And again, I don't put this video out to put people down or insult people, but I did not come from a wealthy family that's bought you everything. I come from a very middle class type thing where it was like, if I wanted something, I had to work for it. And at the end of the day, whether you're in the US, in the UK, in Japan, most of the people who will respond to this and see this will be in situations where they can put in a little bit more effort to save up a little bit of money. The fact that consoles are costing less than brand new phones when they come out shows you how relatively inexpensive that they can be. And really, if you want the newest console and you want the newest games, you have to put in a little bit of time to save for them. Obviously, when you're older, when you're 18 years old and you have a job out there, even if you're going through college and you're working, you need to cut back less on drinking if you want a console and vice versa. It all comes down to your personal finance. Where are you going to cut your spending habits to save up for this? If it's not buying as many Starbucks or Chipotle's or McDonald's or whatever, then do that. If it's not seeing as many movies or going out to the bars and drinking, do that. Like, if this provides you hours and hours of entertainment, just gaming, not including Netflix or whatnot, then you need to save to get it. As a kid, rake leaves, mow lawns, shovel driveways, and pick weeds. Do whatever you have to do. Now, I'm sorry I just ranted on for 9 minutes. If you guys hate my voice or hate what I'm saying, mute me and watch the good Destiny gameplay clip. That's going to wrap it up, guys. I'm not meaning to attack anybody. I'm rather just trying to help people and kind of explain and put into perspective. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Stay focused, stay humble, stay driven. Sorry for the quick outro, but we're almost out of time. Hope you guys have a wonderful week so far, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.